Hey, what is up guys, it's Breezy Reads here, today with my first YouTube video. Today we're going to be reading off r/Niceguys, and I hope you enjoy. Haha, well you don't need to tell me that. I gave up my 20s to land myself in the job I'm in right now. I'm a senior level engineer with a 6-figure salary, no debt, I work out 3 days per week, I'm active with hobbies and interests, but guess what? I'm not close enough to being Brad Pitt, so I'm overlooked. All that nonsense about working hard, getting a good career, etc., and you'll have no problem getting a wife if you put yourself out there. All of it is now completely false and doesn't mean anything. So what you were saying is true, that guys are measured a lot on surface things like how do they look and how much they can spend. Honestly, dude, with a personality like that, I just can't see why more women aren't swarming you with love and attention. Like, you totally deserve it. Like, that definitely showed that. Yeah, because there's totally nothing else to dating except looks and money, right? Right? All jokes aside, people with this way of thinking are wildly shallow. Money can only bring you so much happiness. But, on a side note, if you're making $300,000 and people still won't be with you, you gotta be doing something wrong. Like, you gotta be using cheese as deodorant for people not to like you. Tuesday, 4:22 p.m. Hello, my dear Redacted. Am from Redacted. Looking seriously for a dekinti, honest, real chin. Even marriage. Am Redacted. It's my real name. USA citizen, Portuguese born in Europe. Single, no vices. Decent, honest man, friendly, easygoing. Tuesday, 6:55 p.m. Why do you accepted my friendship? What do you think you are? Queen? You read my massage and did not answer. Not class, not nice, no culture, neither education. My guy, you waited 2 hours. People have lives outside of their phones. Common nice guy right here. Waits about 2 hours for a response until he moves right into the name calling, hoping it will improve his chances. Good move, good move. This next one is a guy responding to a meme. No, that's every woman. Take her out on a first date and she'd be expecting a 5-star restaurant. Well ladies, until you start paying the bill, then you have no right to say where to go since you expect the man to pay for everything, then everything is his choice. How does that correlate to the post above? The cat can't buy anything, and so the human has to buy it, and since the cat does nothing but cost the human money, the cat has to be satisfied with whatever the human can get. Hell, even a dog would enjoy some beef patties, and even they are not worth $100 each. Dogs will eat anything meaty. Did someone hurt you? Are you projecting? To answer your question, yes, he is projecting. I have no idea why people feel the need to just go off on random posts for absolutely no reason. Like, bro, do you have nothing better to do with your time? Alright guys, this next one's a little bit long, so just stick with me. Question for Reddit. Why is it that when a good guy who has been used, friend-zoned, always the last option, finally reached a breaking point and reacts in a bad way, everyone says that he was never a good guy to begin with? No one ever thinks that maybe he wants to find someone that actually cares / loves and appreciates him for who he is. Maybe he is tired of being used and being the last option and being friend-zoned for who he genuinely is. But I guess it's easier to say he was never a good guy who genuinely cared than to admit you don't want that good guy, right? It's almost as if good guys aren't humans who can react negatively after being treated like poop for so long, right? It's so telling how many people didn't even actually address my actual question, which was, why are good guys considered a-holes once they lash out and react in a bad way after being treated like poop and used? Instead, everyone is trying to tell me that good guys are not good guys. Alright guys, and for our last post of the day, we're going to be reading a nice guy's story. Here we go. About a year or so ago, I met this guy at work. We'll call him N. I recently just got moved to his department and he was showing me the ropes. We clicked pretty easily, and it wasn't long before I was considering him one of my best friends. He is 10 years younger than me, and he knew I had 2 kids and am happily married as I talked about my husband all the time. He would talk to me about past relationships, and I talked to him about my past relationships and everything I learned from these experiences. I am, admittedly, a hopeless romantic. I believe everyone has a soulmate. I believe I found mine. N said he believed in soulmates as well. He told me he was hoping to meet his, but he's just not having any luck. He actually talked to me about one girl that he claims completely broke his heart. Swears she led him on for a year. At the time, I felt bad for him. Looking back now, I wonder if this girl actually led him on, or if he just couldn't take no. She actually used to work where I worked before I came there, but left after it all went down because pretty much everyone hated her because of what she supposedly did to N. One of the things that stood out to me though was that the only thing he could tell me about her was how fine, hot, sexy she was. I told him if he wanted to find a woman he could spend his life with, he needed to be concerned with more than appearance. I told him if you asked my husband what he loved about me, my appearance would be one of the last things he mentioned. Looking back now, maybe that should have been the first red flag, but I chalked it up to him being young, and he was actually a really good guy. And I'm sure as he gets older, he'll mature and learn to value women for more than just their appearance. We would have a lot of long talks after work about everything, usually him venting to me about the dating scene and me giving him advice. I truly viewed him as a little brother to me. It never crossed my mind that he was thinking we would be something more. He started buying me my kids' stuff randomly. Everyone around me at work kept saying, "Oh, N isn't just a nice guy, that's just how he is." So I chalked it up to that. My husband started expressing to me that my relationship with N was making him pretty uncomfortable and that he was certain he wanted to be with me. I told my husband I really didn't think that's what it was. N is really just a nice guy, and that I wanted them to meet because I think they'd get along. I told him N was in his early 20s. I'm certain he's not looking for a 32-year-old mom of 2. Over time, I started noticing him getting pushy and almost expecting time with me. I started cutting our after-work conversations short because I really just wanted to get home to my husband and kids. It started to seem like the more I tried to cut them short, the more he pushed to extend it. He would jokingly pout and say he needed time with me too. Again, I chalked it up to him being young and not understanding the responsibility of raising a family, and just kept trying to set some boundaries. One night, a lot of us from work got together, like we had in the past, but this time my husband came along. I was so excited for my husband to meet my work friends because they had all become really important to me. I immediately noticed N's attitude towards me to be different. He didn't talk to me at all and seemed to be avoiding me while my husband was around. N eventually started talking to my husband. I was already pretty drunk. N seemed to be taking an aggressive tone and asked my husband, "So you actually work?" I thought that was kind of crappy, but then I thought maybe my emotions were just heightened because I was drunk, and my husband didn't seem fazed, so I let it go. At some point during the night, the babysitter started calling because our son was upset. Since I was pretty out of it, my husband stepped out to talk to her and our son. At this point, N started getting in my face a lot. He started asking me, "Where's what's-his-face at?" over and over again, very visibly irritated. We had previously had conversation about how I hated it when guys referred to a girl's significant other like that because it's very obvious what he's trying to do. That was when it hit me that my husband was right. When we left, my husband told me about how he was all wrong about N and how he was a really nice guy. And he had a lot of fun and couldn't wait to hang out with my work friends again. I felt awful. When we returned to work, N found me and immediately started to trash talk my husband. Funny, the only thing he could come up with was to talk crap about a joke my husband told. I told him that I thought my husband was funnier than him and walked off. N completely lost it. He started sending me rants about how he's such a prize and how he can make friends no matter where he goes and how he's always the life of the party. I ignored him. He eventually followed me out to my car after work one day. He told me how I was his soulmate and how he's never met anybody like me and that I should be with him. I told him I didn't feel the same way and I was very happily married. He knew that. I never even hinted that I was looking to leave my marriage. He saw me and what he wanted to see. He then went off about how he was such a nice guy and he did so much for me and that I should realize that he basically cares for me because he has not only bought presents for me but also for my kids, and that he's so tired of women choosing bad guys over good guys like him, that he deserved me, not my husband. That statement pissed me off. I told him that he doesn't even know a thing about my husband. He is an incredible man and treats me like a queen. I told N that my husband was a lot nicer than him because he will do nice things for people all the time and not expect anything back. I told N that if he actually cared about me, he wouldn't be actively trying to break up my family. I told him that I couldn't believe that he thought he was entitled to me ending my marriage just because he treated me with some human decency. Unbelievable. I completely ended our friendship there. I only talk to him when I absolutely have to for work. He posted a poor me status on Facebook about how I made him believe I wanted him and I was going to leave my husband for him, and I ruined his Christmas spirit. So now I'm the bad guy. I lost most of my work friends and no longer get invited to outings. Only a handful of people at work are seeing this for what it is. Most people feel sorry for him and think I'm a horrible person. Some are even super mean to me at work now because of the whole thing. My position requires me to be in contact with the whole shift with most of the other employees just to keep notes and data on how each area is running. Some people will just flat out ignore me, making my job a lot harder than it has to be. Some people will talk bad behind my back. This whole experience kind of messed me up for a little bit. I was heartbroken in a way. I really considered this guy to be like family. Not only did I lose what I thought to be a good friend, but I'm public enemy number one at work because everyone believes his top story. I became very depressed. I had kind of let myself go. I stopped being friendly to the people at work. I didn't want anyone finding me attractive, and didn't want any men to get the wrong ideas about me. Over time, I've gotten back to normal. N still makes attempts to talk to me, will text me occasionally, or will try to approach me at work. I flat out stonewall him. Of course, when that happens, I get told to stop being so mean to N. He's such a nice guy and he cares about you so much. But I no longer care what anyone thinks. If they think I'm a mean person to poor little N, oh well. If I have to be a mean to get the information I need to do to my job, I will. Switching buildings is an option, but there's a huge part of me that doesn't want to give this little dude the satisfaction of feeling like he won, like he did with the last woman. I want to be here for whenever another woman inevitably ends up in my spot. I want to be here when people see him for who he truly is. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please throw me a like and a sub. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day.